Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237 and coming at you with another review for the month of October. I've been doing the Halloween series, and I am now up to Halloween 7, aka Halloween H20, 20 years later. Came out in 1998, 20 years after the original. And for the longest time, this is one of the ones I've seen the least. I always kind of dismissed this film as just another shitty Halloween sequel. Never really cared much for it. The flaws that are in it, I still have. But rewatching it and actually paying attention, I can honestly say, other than Halloween 2, this is probably the best sequel. It's actually not that bad. It's the closest to Halloween, like the original Halloween in spirit. Not just because Jamie Lee is back, although that helps. But, it's more of a suspense film than just another. How many people can we kill in different ways? More suspense. It does do a good job. It doesn't really say if Halloween 4 and 5 are still, Halloween canon, because it does, she still is Michael's sister. She did fake her death, like the supposed death from part 4, but it doesn't mention Jamie Lloyd or any of that. So if it dismisses those films, good, especially Curse. And also, it's a huge homage to Psycho in many ways, like the original was. And I was actually surprised, because it's been a long time since I've seen this. And, okay, so, Halloween, 20 years later, this is the first Halloween film without Donald Pleasence as Sam Loomis. As Donald Pleasence passed away, I think in 96. Yeah, like the beginning of 96, so 2 years before this, which is sad, and you do sort of feel that miss, that emptiness, because he was so important. Not just character, but just, as an actor, and he was a very talented actor, and he was really what kept those movies going. Even 5, with the Halloween 5 sucks, and even Pleasence's performance isn't that great. They kind of ruined Loomis in that film, but you really do miss him in this. It opens up in Haddonfield, and there's this woman. I can't remember her last name. I know her first name is Marion. It is the same actress as in the beginning of the original Halloween, when Loomis is in the car with that other doctor or nurse to go get Michael. I can't remember the actress's name or even her character's name, except her first name is Marion. Named after Marion Crane from Psycho, played by Janet Leigh, who is also in this. And Janet Leigh is also Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, which it was one of the things that made John Carpenter want to cast Jamie Lee Curtis. Even Sam Loomis, John Gavin's character's name. It's Marion Crane's boyfriend in Psycho. And to see Janet Leigh and Jamie Lee Curtis in the same film together is really awesome. That is horror movie fan service, 101. to the Scream Queen and the Scream Princess. As corny as that sounds. And also, when you see Janet Leigh, because Jamie Lee Curtis is she's like the dean of this very prestigious boarding school. And Janet Leigh is, I think, a teacher. She's only in, a scene. But when Janet Leigh walks to her car, it is the same make and model as the car that she bought in Psycho and, got dumped in the swamp in. So there's a lot of subtle Easter eggs, homage, little presents in there that are just really cool. But I mean, you also get stuff like LL Cool J, who, I think around this time he was just popping in horror movies. Like a year after this, he did Deep Blue Sea. And of course, he is also the comic relief. He doesn't die. The black guy, the token black guy, does not die. You think he does. But he is the comic relief. He's supposed to be this big, cool security guard, but he wants to be like an erotic novelist. So you see him talking to his girlfriend on the phone about what he's writing, and it's supposed to be corny and cheesy and erotic. So yeah, she's been traumatized for 20 years. Her son is Josh Hartnett, which I believe this was his first film. Also, in the beginning, when we're in Haddonfield and we see that woman from the first film, she has a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's playing street hockey, go and check out her house because she thinks someone's been in there. So we get to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt get killed. And this was in the midst of Third Rock from the Sun, so Michael Myers killed Tommy Solomon. And I think that's how Michael finds out where she is. It's in California. Which, I mean, taking it out of Haddonfield, it did Jason Takes Manhattan better than Jason Takes Manhattan did. Yeah, Josh Hartnett is her son. She is extremely protective because she's still traumatized, and I don't really remember if they say, oh, they never found a body. He's just believed to be dead, but she's still messed up. She has a thing with this other teacher played by Adam Arkin, who is the son of Alan Arkin, who's one of my favorite actors. And actually, the only character other than him that's missing from this cover would be the young Alan Parrish from Jumanji. He's in this. He gets killed. So, yeah, there's not really a whole lot of kills. And even the kills don't really, it's not like some of the sequels where it's just... I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a gore hound. I love that shit. But Halloween's always been above that. And this sort of goes back to that in a good way. More suspense. Like when Alan Parrish, because like the class trip, they went to Yosemite. Of course, she didn't let her son go. So like her son, his girlfriend, Alan Parrish, and his girlfriend stay behind, and they want to have their own little party on campus. And that's where Michael goes to kill them, and LL Cool J is the security guard. There's a part where Jumanji drops a corkscrew down at the garbage disposal. So you get the scene of like him reaching down to get it, and he keeps looking over at the switch, and it is kind of predictable. He's gonna get it. It's attempting to build suspense. But I guess this movie got kind of they kind of Suicide Squadded it a little bit in editing. Not that bad, but like some of the music, like I know the composer John Ottman was very unhappy with it. Like there's a part where after like the funniest, it's even sort of meta, or well, not really meta, but it's self-referential, because like when Michael's chasing Jamie, she opens a closet, and then she's like, fuck, because of course she hid the closet in the first film. There's like this upward angle shot of Michael walking down the hallway, and the music was supposed to be like the dun dun dun, but it had like this psycho like violin screeching that yit 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 yit. He wasn't happy with that. And I guess in post-production they had to do some like reshoots. So like when he kills the Jumanji kid, there's like a CGI mask and it looks fucking terrible. It looks like ass. But I guess it was actually Jamie's idea to sort of have her be this broken, traumatized victim in the beginning, and then have her arc at the end sort of turn around and, you know, say fuck running, fuck this, and she becomes the stalker and goes after Michael. I liked that. You know, even in the making of, they call it the Sigourney Weaver moment. You know, that's when she becomes a Lieutenant Ripley, which I like that. And it would have worked because, you know, even at the end, when she stabbed Michael and he fell onto the table, she walks up to him to take the knife out. He doesn't open his eyes. He doesn't jump. You know, they didn't go that route. You're supposed to believe he's dead. Then when they're loading him into the meat wagon, she grabs a gun. She's like, you know, she steals the van. And, you know, he wakes up. She crashes it. They have like the moment where he's like reaching for her, which I think they planned on that ending to lead into Resurrection, because you see him kind of like, you know, feeling his mask and not knowing where he is after he gets pinned again. They're in the van, and, you know, she slams on the brakes, so he flies out the windshield. Of course, you know, goes down a cliff, pins him up against a tree, and then she cuts his head off. You could have had her be that hero, that Sigourney Weaver, you know, traumatized woman who babies the shit out of her son. Say, fuck this, I'm gonna fight back. And finally have her be the one to kill Michael. By doing the one thing they should have done in many of these movies, chopping his fucking head off. And then, you know, 20 years later, she's back. You have that revelation, that character arc, and Resurrection, because this made money, fucked it all up. That's why the beginning of Resurrection is... I'll talk about that when I get to Resurrection. And even though, like, I think that's actually for, like, one of the dailies, because if you watch, like, Halloween 25 Years of Terror, they show the dailies for that, and it looks different than this sequence that's actually on film, but I do like that moment. You know, Jamie Lee, I did like her performance in this. You could tell she was into it. This wasn't just, hey, you haven't been in Halloween in a while, you know, you want to help us make some money? You know, she's not phoning it in. It's something she wants to do. She does help make up for the, you know, the Donald Pleasence not being there. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of Josh Hartnett or LL Cool J, you know, or Michelle Williams, I've only seen in a few films, everyone does their part. And, you know, Halloween was never about the gore. It was more about suspense and scares. And I thought this one actually delivered. Is it as good as Halloween 2, per se? No, I still say Halloween 2 was still the perfect sequel to the original. But after 4 and 5 and 6, I mean, this is a breath of fresh air. I think I just dismissed it when I was younger just because it was a higher number sequel in late 90s and stale. But no, this actually is a decent Halloween film. Maybe it's because there was a lot of shit before it, but I think it worked out well for canceling out the previous 3. Even if it didn't, and 4, 5, and 6 are still canon, this movie does a good job at ignoring that, except for the fact she faked her death. So Halloween H20, the best since Halloween 2, and I would even say the last good one. Because after this you have Resurrection, which is one of the most pointless sequels. Yeah, Michael Myers is officially the Shape again, but the movie sucks. And then you get Rob Zombie's films, and then you get the 2018 sequel, which I never saw. But yeah, I was surprised. I was wrong about this movie sucking. Is it still a good movie? Not really. But I think it accomplished what it tried to do. Make Halloween suspenseful again, bring Jamie Lee back, say fuck everything since 2. So for that, I can give it credit. But that is Halloween H20. Thank you for watching.